Hello, Bonk. Please confirm that you can hear me loud and clear.
Yes, we can hear you.
All right, thank you, Victoria. Okay, so we are going to jump into the discussion immediately. So I'm going to bring up my screen so that we can be able to see what we have for us today. All right, please let's confirm when we can see my screen. Okay, I believe my screen is visible because I can also be able to see it. So we're going to be discussing a very important topic today on how you can create an automated employee survey report using Google Forms, Google Sheets, and also Power BI. So all those periods that maybe your HR or anybody asks you, oh, fill this form, how do you think they actually collect it behind the scene? How do they analyze that data? And of course, how do they also get to build a dashboard to bring out insights from that data that they've been able to gather? So everything that we're going to be talking about today revolves around Google Forms, Google Sheet, and also Power BI. So it will prepare you to function as a data analyst and of course, fully as a HR analyst. All right. So please, before we jump into our discussion today, I'd love to know you and also get to know where you are joining us from this evening. Okay. So feel free to put in the comment section your name and your location where you are joining us from so that we can be able to start off this discussion immediately. Okay. So let's do that within the next 1 minute and then we're going to, instantly kickstart the conversation for today. All right. I can't see any message yet, and we have close to 30 people on the call already, right? So please, let's keep it coming so that I'll be sure and also know the demographic of everyone on this call to know how I'll be able to direct our conversation for this evening. All right, Lulu is joining us from Finland, Faith from Canada. Fantastic. It's good to have you, Lulu, on the call. It's also good to have you as well on the call, Faith. Okay. I'm yet to see other people's comments. Are we sure that we are here? Are we sure that we are here? I can see Adedayo from UK. Fantastic. So we have 3 different countries already represented: Finland, Canada, and also United Kingdom. Also, Uche from Canada. It's like we have more people from Canada this evening for this conversation. Okay, and while that is coming in, if today is also your first time of being in any of our sessions, please feel free to put a 1 in the comment section so that I'll know how to shape my conversation with you today. But if you've been to any of our discussions before now, please put any number as it pleases you. Okay, I can see Detan from US, I can see Trudy from Canada. Okay, so we have people from Canada, UK, US, Finland. We have 4 countries at the moment. And also we have, okay, Victoria from Canada, which means we have more people from Canada today. We have Nana from Ghana. Fantastic. It's good to have you on the call. And we also have Steven from Canada. While we wait for other people to put in their own demographics, you are all welcome to this discussion today. Okay. And if you know anyone that what we are doing this evening is going to be very, very important too, feel free to share the link to this conversation with them so that they can be able to join and listen in to what we are going to be talking about. Okay. Whether the person is your friend, your family member, or even your enemy that you know is going to benefit from this conversation today, please feel free to share the link with them. All right, we're going to jump right into the discussion. So we are going to be having a couple of things first. First thing that we're going to be having is how to automate your employee survey report using Google Forms, Sheets, and also Power BI. And then walk you through the pathway to you becoming an HR professional or a data analyst, and as well as walk you through the growth internship program. So for you to break into the tech ecosystem, there's always this question of how many years of experience do you have? So how do you get an experience without getting a job? That is where we come in, okay? And then finally, we'll walk you through our special discounted offer for you by virtue of all the things that's currently going on. So who exactly are we that's organizing this event? We are Analytics, and we are the leading educational technology company that is helping people of the Black community to break into tech career paths by using project-based learning to augment the ones that they already have. We've been doing this for close to 5 years now, and we've helped close to 2,900 people to move from our classroom into landing their jobs in UK, US, Canada, Europe, and of course, Asia. Okay, we have 8 basic courses that we offer, and that includes data analytics, business analysis, data engineering, data science, financial analytics, HR analytics, agile project management, that's Scrum Master, cybersecurity also. And how we do all this is by bringing experts back to the classroom, experts that's already working, people in Microsoft, Google, Sahara Group, InterSwitch, as the case may be, back to the classroom to teach you using project-based approach for you to be able to understand all that you need for you to land a job. And who am I that I've been speaking to you for the last couple of minutes? My name is Chukwuemeka Ekpa, and I'm a dynamic technology consultant with close to a decade of experience in GRC and strategic consulting. Okay, I've worked in several sectors of the economy, financial service, capital markets, hospitality, and right now in the educational technology firm. And right here, I've helped close to 1,000 individuals personally to move from their current roles into landing their first jobs in the tech ecosystem. Like I said, I've worked as a governance, risk, and compliance specialist in the banking sector, as a head of control in the fintech industry, as a data analyst in the fintech industry also, as well as a business growth consultant in the hospitality space. You can follow me on LinkedIn at Chukwuemeka Ekpa or Twitter at Emeka_Heist or Instagram at Ekpa_Chooks. And we're going to also have a more personalized conversation in all these platforms. And with me today, it's not a person than amazing Akona. Akona, I don't know if you're there and want to say a couple of things to people before I call you up and also introduce yourself. Akona, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Thank you so much, Chukwuemeka. Hi, everyone. So happy to be here, actually. Thank you so much. So as you can see on the screen, I'm actually a seasoned technology professional. I have over 5 years of experience spanning diverse industries, sales, health, security, IT, telecom, education, marketing, and I've also worked with a bunch of NGOs from around the world, okay? So I've worked with different companies in US, Ghana, Cameroon, UK, Canada, Nigeria, and so on. So indeed, I'm bringing a ball of experience and expertise today to your very, very, very own, segments and station. All right. So I've successfully led teams, of different capacity, teaching people Power BI, Python, Tableau, Excel, SQL, R, and even other tools that are actually not mentioned there as well. All right. So definitely, I'm looking forward to having our session today. And please be excited because we're going to do something amazing today. Thank you so much, Emeka.
All right, thank you so much, Akona. So Akona is just trying to be humble. She's a senior data scientist here at Analytics, and you can see the wealth of experience that she's coming with to share with all of us today to understand how we can easily be able to create a funnel from your Google form to Google Sheets, and also be able to build an amazing dashboard to communicate your insights. So I'll call Akona up. Akona, you have the floor to walk us through what you have for us today. Akona, are you there?
Okay, hi, Emeka.
Yes, do you hear what I said? So I said you can take it over from here and drive through the session, walking people through how they can be able to create the funnel from Google Sheets or from Google Forms to Google Sheet and then to building an amazing dashboard. So Akuna, over to you.
Okay, thank you very much. So let me share my entire screen. A minute, please. Okay. There we have it. All right. So I'm sharing my entire screen. And so hi, everyone. Happy to meet all of you today. All right. So similar to what Chukwuemeka has rightly said, today I'll be showing you how to create a Google form sheet, all right, that's going to be able to collect data, all right, employee data, and then I'm going to show you how to link that sheet to a particular Google form sheet and then create an amazing report today. Okay, so very quickly, let me show you what I have so that you have an understanding of what to expect. Okay. So this is what we're doing today. All right. So we're going to create this Google form that takes in employee data. And then we're going to sort of put in some dummy data into the Google form. I'm going to have this simple sheets. And then we're going to create this amazing dashboard that you can see right here on the screen. So let's start that quickly. So the first thing you're going to do is you have to create a Google form. All right. So Google form is used to create surveys that can collect data. So as a HR analyst, you should be able to collect data from your employee. And if you want to do that, the first thing you need to do is you have to go to Google form. So you're going to go to docs.google.com/forms. All right. So you go to this link here, or you could just go to your browser and search for Google Forms, and it's going to lead you here. So rightly so, for you to come here, you must be signed on to your Google account, right? So the first thing you're going to do now is you're going to come up here, you're going to see blank form, you click on blank form, and then it brings you here. So this is where you can customize the Google form to fit what you want to do. So very quickly, let's do this. I'm going to change this untitled form to employee data. Employee data. All right, so this is what we are following. I'm just trying to replicate what we have here over here. So we have employee data form. Okay, let me use capital letter. Data form. And you could make this bold. So I'm just going to do Control A, and I'm going to make it bold. So now that we're done with that, you can put form description, depending on what you want to achieve, basically. But I'm just going to leave that. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to collect the first data I want. And what's the first data that I want to collect? I want to collect, as you can see here, I want to collect the employee ID. All right. I'm going to get the employee ID. And for me to do that, I have to put in the question, all right, or the tag of what I want to collect. So I'm going to put in here employee ID, all right? I can make it bold, I can leave it. So for the employee ID, I'm just going to leave it as a short answer text here. So you can always change everything from here. Choose how you want to connect your data. So I just leave it as short answer, and I can click on required, meaning if you're filling up this form, this particular question is required. So you must answer this form, hence you cannot submit. All right. So once I'm done doing that, I will click on this plus sign here, and I'll go to the next question. And so what's the next question? Department. I'll tell the employee to select the department. We have IT, HR, sales, finance, etc. As you can see here. So I could just come over here and type out department, and then I'll come over here. Now I want it to look like a drop down. Okay. So I want it to come as a drop down. So once the drop down comes up, you'll see the various departments and the user selects. So I'll go to drop down, and then I will start typing in the options. IT, I think we have HR. I think we have sales. Let me just confirm sales, finance, and marketing. Beautiful. Sales, finance, and marketing. So we have more than this, definitely. We have more departments, all right? But for this demo session, we'll just use these departments. And as our norm is, we'll just click on required, meaning, you know what required means? This is an important segment, so you must fill this section. So I'll click on the plus sign again, and I'll go to the next one, which is job role. We want to know the job role. Are you a data analyst, HR manager, sales executive, accountant, software engineer, content manager, sales rep, whoever you are, whatever you are, and whatever role that you're into, select it. So here I'll call this job role. Okay, I'll call this job role. And similar to what we did before, we'll select the drop down. I want this to come as a drop down. Then the option, I'll put data analysts. Okay, I'll put HR manager. Okay, I'll put content developer or content manager. Okay, I'll put, what was the other thing we saw there? Okay, we saw accountant, sales executive, software engineer, sales rep. Okay, so I'll put sales rep, right, etc. Okay, so the list goes on. Okay, so for the benefit of us, just to make sure that we're able to finish everything within the stipulated time, I will just stop here. So you can have up to 20 job roles there. Okay, so let's just stop here. And let's go down a bit. So as usual, we make this particular section required. Okay, make it required. So let's go to the next question. For the next question, we want to check what again? We want to get the experience. We want to get the experience in terms of years. Your experience, is it less than a year? Is it between 1 to 3 years, 3 to 5 years, 5 years plus, etc.? We can also collect such information, all right? Such data rather. So I'll go here, I'll click on experience. Now for this one, it's going to be slightly different. So this time I'm not going to use a drop down. We're going to use what we call multiple choice, like a radio button. Okay, we call it radio button, multiple choice, okay? So that's what we call it. So I'm going to select multiple choice. I'll come here, I'll put, I think less than a year. The next one was 1 to 3 years, right? The next one was 3 to 5 years, all right? And let me scroll down a bit. The fourth one was 5 years plus. So 5 plus years. All right. Once you're done, you make it required as usual. Make it required. So once you're done doing this, move on to the next question. So mind you might choose to just use a drop down for this as well. Depends on what you want to do. Okay, so there's no defined way that you must follow. All right. So once you're done doing this, the next thing you click on the plus sign again and go to the next question. The next question is on what? Job satisfaction. How satisfied are the employees? So you can put a range of 1 to 5. So they choose between 1 to 5. How satisfied are they? With 5 being what? Very satisfied, and 1 being less satisfied, all right, or not satisfied. So we're going to create this as well. We'll create this for job satisfaction and this also for work-life balance. So you go back there and you put in job satisfaction. How satisfied are the employees? All right. So once you're done doing that, satisfaction, good. You come over here and you select what. So for you to have that kind of range, 1 to 5, use what we call a linear scale. Linear scale, all right? So from here, you can select what, maybe 1 to 10, 1 to 100, okay? 1 to 10, 1 to 5, 1 to 3, depending on what. So for us, for this training, we'll be using 1 to 5, okay? 1 to 5, and that's okay. You make it required, click on plus, and go over to, I think, work-life balance, good. We have work-life balance. All right, so this is okay. Work-life balance, you put in the linear scale as well and leave it just the way it is. 1 to 5 is okay for us. Make sure you make it required, and then you go to the next question. You can see this is quite easy, all right? This is quite easy. So let's go to the next question. Okay. All right, the next question here says your career growth. Okay, career growth also has the same linear scale, okay? And then we're going to add inclusion, all right? Very inclusive, neutral, and not inclusive. And then we'll add recommendation, yes or no, all right? Are they going to recommend the company, yes or no? All right, so these are important things that HR department needs to know about the employees. We need to be sure that we are gauging well. We need to be sure that we are performing well. We need to be sure that our employees are satisfied. All right, so very quickly, I'll go over here to career growth. Okay, and I'll put the linear scale as well. 1 to 5, make sure it's required. And we're done with that. I'll come over here to the next one. Okay, let me just go down here. It's recommendation. Recommendation. Okay, so for recommendation, it's either yes or no, right? So for that, you can use the multiple choice, okay? So we'll go over and click on multiple choice, and we'll say it's either yes or no, okay? So once you're done doing that, you can make it required. So let's go back up a bit to the part we jumped, and inclusion, yeah. So we have very inclusive, neutral, and not inclusive. All right, so we're going to click here on inclusion. We need to also get that. Inclusion. So for this, we're also going to use a multiple choice method. So we have very inclusive, neutral, and finally, we have not inclusive. And once you're done with that, you make it required. Okay, so I want employees to fill up every single segment, every single section. Okay, so once I'm done, I can just click on this and I'll click on the plus sign. I think we have one more to go, and that is feedback comments. So most times this feedback and comments, okay. So concerning the feedback and comments, let's look at the feedback and comments. Most times, as I was saying, the feedback and comments not always required, right? So it's not very necessary. So one thing you could also do is you could leave it as leave it the way it is, okay? So it doesn't have to be required. So Tom, can you kindly mute your mic, please?
Oh. Where's your shoes there?
Yeah.
Where's your shoe? It's here. Oh, where is it? Area.
Hello, Tom. Please mute your mic.
Yes.
Tom.
Oh,
You're disturbing. I don't know.
Okay, so let's just quickly go on. Okay. So now we have the feedback comments. Now you're done with this. The next thing you're going to do is you need to publish. Or before you do that, let me show you something. That's a quick way of customizing it. So first of all, you can come over here to your untitled form and change it to whatever. So I'm going to call my employee data form. So I just put that in here already, employee data form. So that's how you can change the title of your form. Afterwards, the next thing you're going to do is you can put in your logo, all right? Let's say you want everyone to know that this form belongs to your company, something like Tenalytics or I don't know, whatever company you're working with. You can come over here to where we have customize theme. You click on customize theme, all right? So let me just push this aside. And you come over here to header and choose the image. So you can choose the logo from here, maybe the logo of your company or whatever it is that you want. So you come over here to upload, go over to browse. That is, you want to get the image from your local system, and you can come over here and select your image. So I'm going to look for my company's logo, and I will select that. Beautiful, there we have it. So I'll just select that and I can see it here and I'll click on open. So you just wait for a minute, let it get uploaded and then you select. So once you select it, you're going to see this box around it that is the crop box, okay? So they're asking you crop out and select the area you want to show on the form. So I'm just selecting the logo area. So I want to just select exactly this, which is fine. Then click on done and wait for it to get loaded on the system. Good. Good, there we have it. All right, so there we have it. So we have it this way, okay? So there are other ways of you customizing it, okay, but we're not going to go into that today. So once you're done imputing your logo or uploading your logo, you can come over here to publish so that people around can see what you have created and people around can then fill up the form, right? Because you're not creating the form to keep it in your system. You're creating the form so you can share the link to other employees who will be able to fill it up and then you get your information. So this is a data collection method. So I'm going to click on publish to anyone with the link, and then I'll click on publish. Beautiful. The link has been published, or rather the form has been published. So now that the form has been published, if you click on publish now, you can select anyone with the link. So anyone with the link can actually have this, right? Okay. And then you can come over here to this pin-like icon and you copy the link, all right? So if you want to share the link, you copy the link from here. If the link is too long, you can click on shorten URL to make the link shorter. Okay, so I've clicked on that and then I've copied it and I'll click on save. So now I can send it to anybody and then they can fill up the form. Now, how do you know someone has filled up the form? How do you know? If you want to be sure and know that someone has filled up the form, you come over here to responses. When you click on responses, you can see we have 0 responses, meaning nobody has filled up the form yet. No one has filled up the form yet. So let me show you what the form link is going to look like. So I'm going to go to another okay, I'm going to go to another account. Okay, and I'm going to paste that link here. And I'm going to fill up the form here. All right, it's taking some time to load. All right, so while that is still loading, okay, it's almost done. Beautiful. So this is the form link that I actually copied. Beautiful. You can see now we have this form. All right, so let me just fill it up quickly. Let's say my employee ID is, okay, still loading. I want to give you a feel of the form. That's why this is important. Good. So let's say the employee ID is 111, or let's say E111. And the department, let's say I'm in the HR department. Okay, I selected that. So you can see the field. This is what I've created. And then I'll go to job role and I'll select HR manager. And then I go down and I select, okay, 5 years plus. Okay, I'll go to job satisfaction, 5, very satisfied, work-life balance, 4, okay, career growth, 5, inclusive, oh, very inclusive, recommendation, yes. And I go down to the other one. Meets the form. It looks like there's a more recent draft of your response. Update your latest draft or pick where you left off. Okay, so I think there was a disconnect. So I'll just fill that up again. So I'm filling up what I filled before. So I'll just put here none. And then I'll click on submit. Beautiful. I have submitted my response here. So I'm this humble employee somewhere, and I've been able to submit my response here. So I'm going to go back, since I'm the one that created the form, remember, I'll go back to that, my account. Beautiful, can you see? Now we have one response, and you can even get to see like an overall analytics, an overview of the response, okay? So you can have that, okay? So when you create yours, you can just get familiar with the summary, the question, and individual, okay? These are different sections. Now, the important part, remember we are trying to do what? We're trying to create a report and automate the process. So if I want to look at these responses using a Google Sheet, I'll come here to link to Sheets. So I want to view all my responses in a Google Sheets, okay? So I'm gonna come over here, I'll click on link to Sheets. It says here, create a new spreadsheet or select existing spreadsheet. I said no, create a new spreadsheet, and I'll click on create. Automatically, I'm going to create a new spreadsheet, and I'll be able to see my responses, my one response on that sheet. Beautiful, you can see it over here. You can see the response here. You can see the employee ID, HR, etc., etc. Beautiful. So there we have it. There we have it. It's amazing, okay? Now that we're done with this, okay, so in your company, you can have up to 100 employees filling this up to 20 employees filling this up, etc. Okay, as the case may be. But for the benefit of this training, I have already created a Google Sheet over here. Okay. I've created a Google Sheet over here. All right. I've created a Google Sheet over here, and you can see some of the information, okay? So let's say we had like 7 employees filling up that form, all right? So it's gonna look like this, or it's gonna look different with the time, all right, and everything. But don't worry, it's still the same thing, okay? We don't have the time to start filling up everything from scratch, all right? So this is what our Google Sheet looks like. So we have 7 employees that have filled up the Google Sheets successfully. Now, what can you do? How can we go about this? How can you create a report from this as a HR analyst? Now you have the data. What can you do? I'm going to make use of what we call Power BI. Microsoft Power BI. So for you to create reports using that Google Sheets filled up with employee responses, you have to link your Power BI desktop to the Google Sheets. And I want to show you how to do that. You must be able to collect data from that Google Sheets. So for you to do that, you go over here to get data from other sources after opening up your Power BI. Once you open up your Power BI desktop, it's just going to bring you over here automatically. You're just going to see this already. So you go over to get data from other sources, from another source rather, and it takes you here. Once it brings you here, you come over to where you have get data and you type in sheets because you want to get it from Google
Sorry for
Sheets.
interrupting.
Type it here.
Your
That is,
screen
you
is not
search for
showing,
it here.
please.
And to your right-hand
Please share your
side,
screen.
you can
Sorry, we
see
can't
Your
the
Google.
screen.
your
The
screen is
screen.
not showing. Sorry.
We stopped seeing your screen from the moment you concluded Google form.
Yeah.
Is it visible now?
It's coming up. Yeah, we can see it now.
If it's
Yeah, fine. Good.
So please start the
okay,
Power
so
BI.
let me just stop sharing and reshare.
It's showing now. It's showing.
We can see
Okay, it's
it now.
showing now. All right, thank
yeah.
you very
Yeah,
much.
so please, if you can go back to
All
how
right.
to link it to Power BI.
So I'm just going to go back a step back to what I just did, and I'll do that again. Okay. So if you come up to Power BI desktop, you'll be able to see something like this. Okay. And then you click on get data from another source, and it brings you over here. Click on get data from another source, and it brings you over here. Okay. And once it brings you over to this area that you're seeing on the screen, you click on get data from another source again. And it brings you over here, right? So as I was saying, you come over here to this search bar and you type out sheets or sheets. And by your right-hand side, you see Google Sheets. You click on Google Sheets, you go over to connect, and then you have to connect with the Google Sheets. It's going to tell you this, connecting to a third party, you just click on continue, all right? And you just have to be patient. Now, this is where you're going to, paste the URL from your Google Sheets, okay? So that particular sheet that you had, this is where you're going to paste the URL. So you're going to go back to your Google Chrome. You come over here to share. Click on share over here, and you're going to wait for this to load, to get loaded, all right? Then you can click on copy link. You click on copy link and you click on done. But before that, you can even change this. Let's say it's showing restricted. You can change it to anyone with the link, all right? So that anyone with the link can actually access it. Then you click on copy link and you click on done. Then you go back to your Power BI desktop. You come here and you paste what you just copied. That link you just copied, this is it. So you paste it here, all right? And so once you're able to paste it here, you click on OK. And you're going to wait, all right? Wait for it to establish the connection between your Power BI desktop and your Google Sheets. So you just have to be patient, all right? So once you establish that connection, automatically the table is going to appear here under the navigator. Beautiful, can you see it? We have employee survey data just appeared here. And that is the name of our Google Sheets. Remember, employee survey data. Let's go back. See it over here, employee survey. All right, so it appeared over there. So let's go back to our Power BI desktop. So what you're going to do is you're going to check it. You check that table and now you can see it. You can see the data, okay? You can scroll to the extreme right and you can see the data. Okay, so we have column 1, column 2, column 3, column 4. But the name of our heading is not supposed to be column 1, 2, 3, and 4. It's supposed to be employee ID, department, job role, experience, job satisfaction, etc. So that means there's something wrong. So we have to go over and work on our data quickly, transform our data quickly before we load it to our Power BI desktop proper. So let's go over here to transform data so that we can change the header to what it's supposed to be, all right? So I'm going to do very quick data cleaning. We're going to do that quickly. Beautiful, there we have it. We have this here, and you can see what I'm talking about. So for you to change it so that the employee ID, department, job role, experience, they can all become the header that they ought to be, you come over here to use, under home, you come over here to use first row as headers, meaning use the first row as the header. You come over here and you click on that. Automatically, you can see got changed. So now employee ID, department, etc., they have become what? The first header, or rather the header of the various columns. So once you're done doing all of this, you come over here to close and apply, and then you have to wait for everything to get loaded onto the Power BI. So if I click on that, it's going to load, it's going to get loaded, and we're going to have this area open. We're going to have this area open, okay? We're going to have this area open. And you're going to come over here, you're going to see data. Under employee survey data, you can see the various columns. Remember, we had the career growth, we have the department, we have the employee ID, experience, feedback, inclusion, job role, job satisfaction, recommendation, work-life balance, the amazing columns that we created from the Google Forms, right? So now we have everything listed here. Now it's time for us to start creating our reports. Are you ready? Let's start. So now if you want to create your reports, how do I Okay, so I'll just leave this here. All right. So now the first thing we're going to do is we're going to change the color of our Canva. The Canva is actually the area in which you want to build your dashboard. All right. So I'll come over here to format your report page. That's the page. And I'll come down to Canvas background. So I want to change the background to black. All right. So I'll click on the Canvas background. I'll come back to color. I will change it to black. I'll just click on black. And then I'll come down here and I'll take the transparency down to 0 so that I can see what I have done. Wow, interesting. So there we have it. We have been able to change our Canvas background to black. Now, once we're done doing that, the next thing we're going to do is we want to put the text. That is the title of the dashboard, okay? Which is supposed to be, let me cross-check what's supposed to be. It's supposed to be, let me close this. Employee Survey Insights Dashboard. Employee Survey Insights Dashboard, all right? So I'll come over here and I'm gonna bring in the text. So I'll come over here to the text box. I'll click on that. Automatically it's gonna appear here. And then I'm gonna type in its employee in capital letter, survey, insights, dashboard. Mind you, as a HR analyst, this is what you're going to do. It's an interesting process, actually. All right, you would enjoy it once you master the art of creating dashboards, collecting data, you know, and understanding the company as a whole. So I'm going to highlight this, which I just did using Control A. I'll come to bold. I would centralize it. I would change the size to 24. And the font face is okay. It's okay. So we can just leave that. So I'll just click here. And then I'll come over here and I'll carry this over here. Seems like we have another text box here. Okay, we'll just leave that. So let me just carry this over here to avoid distractions. All right, so we'll come over here. We'll carry this using the 3 dots, carry it up, and we can stretch it out a bit. Okay. All right, it's beautiful. We'll just put this down here. Okay, so once you're done doing that, let's try to scroll up. Let us scroll up a bit. Okay, that's it. So I will just come over here and drag this down. And then I'll come over here and take this to the middle. So I'm going to be following the grid line. You can see the red line in between the dots, right? So I'm following it so that I can centralize the text box. So there we have it, Employee Survey Inside Dashboard. So very quickly, I'm going to come over here because I want to edit it further. I'll come over here to General, I'll go to Effects, and I'll off the background. I don't want to have any background. I want it to take the background of the canvas behind it. They're good to go, that's fine. And then I'll come over here, I'll do Control A, and I'll change the color of the text to white. There we have it, Employee Survey Inside Dashboard. I can click on this and just remove this. I don't need this. So what I'm going to do now to save our time, all right, I'll come over here, I'll click on this once, all right, and let me do that again. I'll do Control C to copy and Control V to paste. Oh, something that didn't work. All right, let me click on that again. Control C to copy and Control V to paste. Okay, now that worked. So I would I'll come over here and I'll drag this here. Okay, and I'll resize this. Okay. So what's going to be inside here? I'll do Control A. Okay, I'm seeing some text inside, so I'm going to adjust what we have up. But for now, let's change this to overall. Let me just change this, okay? I wanted to take, right, so we'll change it to overall. Overall metrics. Okay, so we want to just get the overall metrics. And I'll delete what is inside the text box or what was inside the text box before now. Okay, so we have the overall metrics, overall satisfaction metrics. Right, there we have it. And once you're done with that, you just do Control A So I want to reduce the size and I'll change it to 18. 18 looks okay, right? And I'll justify it to the left, all right? And I could change it to Calibri, all right? And what else? I think this is okay. So I'll just resize this and take it here. All right, so we're just formatting everything. And for this one, I'm going to remove the link that was behind it. Okay, there we have it. Good. So our dashboard right now is taking shape, taking form. Now, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to import what we call multi-row scorecards. What we have here, multi-row scorecards to be able to visualize our key performance indicators such as average job satisfaction, career growth, work-life balance, and even the total number of employees. Okay, so I'll just come over here. I will click on multi-row card over here, and then it appears there. So I'm going to come over here to where we have fields, and this is where I'm going to load onto it the columns, the features that we want to use for that particular multi-row scorecard, what we want to display there. So we're going to start with the first one, job satisfaction. Next, we'll have work-life balance. Next, we carry over the career growth. And then we carry over employee ID. Okay, so let me just scroll down a bit. Now, for what we want to do, we don't want to get the sum of the job satisfaction. We want to get the average. On the average, what is the job satisfaction in this company on average? You know, for the employees that have imputed their data, what's the average? We want to get that. So instead of having it as sum of job satisfaction, I come over here and I change it to average. Instead of having it as sum of work life, I change it to average as well. Instead of having it as sum of career growth, I change it to average. Instead of having it as employee ID, I want to count the total number of employees in the data set. So I have to use the count function. So I'll click here and I'll say count. Count the total number of employee IDs in the data set, meaning count total number of rows in the data sets, meaning count the total number of employees in the data sets. Interesting, right? So once you're done doing that, I'll come over here and kind of see that everything has been updated amazingly. So I'll just drag this up. I'll just put it here. I could also take this satisfaction here as well. Beautiful. Then I'll just click on this. I'll come here and I'll stretch it to somewhere reasonable, right? Okay. Yeah, this looks okay. Then I'll take this up a bit. Then I'll wait first of all. So now we have it. You can see everything here. You can see average job satisfaction, average work-life balance, etc. Okay, so if you want to edit what is there, if you want to put it as average job satisfaction instead of average of job satisfaction, you can come here, double click here and change it to average job satisfaction. So I'll leave that for you to do, okay? So very quickly, we can edit this. It's looking white. The texts are so small. They're not obvious. What can we do? So I'll make sure I select this multi-row scorecard, right? I'll make sure it's selected. I'll come over here to format your visual because I want to format the visual. I'll come down to the first one under visual called call out values. Call out values are the values you can see there, such as 3.71, 3.3.29, and 7. Those are called the call out values, while the call out labels are average job satisfaction, average work-life balance, etc. So now if you want to make them pop, all right, you want to change the way they look, you can make the changes now. So let's go to call out values. Call out values, we can leave the font as this. We can change the size to 24. We can make it bold. All right, and we can change it to this color, right? Although I would have preferred orange. Okay, let's change it to orange. Okay, something around this. Okay, let's work with this. Okay, so now it has changed to orange. Very orange, actually. So we have that. Okay, so you can always take your time to look at the looks and everything. So I've changed that. Let's go to category labels. So I want to change the size to 10. And I want to change the color of the category labels to, let's make it white. Okay, let's see how it's going to look. So we're done. So I changed it to white and now you can't see it because the background is white. So let's go and change the background. But before we change the background, we have under the cards, there's something we call accent bar. So the accent bar is actually showing over here. The accent bar is actually showing. So I don't want that to show. So I'm going to click on this. I'll go back to my formats visual. I'll go down to cards. I'll go down to accent bar and I would off it. All right. So it's gone. Now I'll go back to general. I'll go to effects and then I would change the background. So I can come to the color and I can select this. Okay. I think this looks okay. Or let me make it 65%. All right. This looks okay. Okay, so I've changed the background and you can see now everything is sort of popping. It's coming out gradually. Now, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to start creating our donut charts, our word cloud charts, our bar charts, and then we're done with our dashboard. So let's continue. So just to save time, I'll come and I'll copy this and I'll just duplicate it in different places. The overall satisfaction metrics, I'll click on that and I'll do Ctrl+C, Ctrl+V, Ctrl+C, Ctrl+V. All right, so I'm just going to click outside and then I'm going to drag it down. I'll just drag it down here, right under the multi-road scorecard. And I'll do Ctrl+C again, Ctrl+V. And then I'm going to take this to the right-hand side, just towards the middle up. So I'm just following the red lines, if you notice. Okay, so for this, let me cross-check what we are supposed to show. We are supposed to show, right, we're supposed to show employee recommendation rates and feedback insights, employee recommendation rates and feedback insights. So let's go back. So I'll come over here to overall satisfaction metrics and I will change this to employee recommendation rates. Okay, then I'm going to come back to that and I'll change this to feedback insights. All right. And then I would just adjust this. I'll come back here and I would adjust this as well. So I'll just stretch this so that we can have everything beautiful. So we have employee recommendation rates and the feedback insight. Now, in under our visuals, where we can see pie charts and we can see donut charts. So we're going to click on the donut charts. And once we click on that, it appears here. Amazing, right? So we want to get the employee recommendation rates. So for us to do that, we'll come over here to where we have recommendation. Remember the yes and no questions we put in our forms, right? So we want to get the employee recommendation rates. Okay, how many of them are saying yes, no to recommending the company? How many of them are saying no, we're not recommending your company? All right, so let's kindly do that. So I'll carry the recommendation down to values and I also carry it over here to legend. All right, so there we have it by the right-hand side. You can see that. So quickly, we're going to edit this. So we'll just carry this. Remember, I'm always following the lines. Follow the lines, all right? Always follow the lines. So very quickly, we're going to edit this. We're going to remove the title of this chart, where we have the count of recommendation and some other things that are not necessary. And we're going to put in the right color codes, etc. So very quickly, I'll click on this chart. I'll go down or go up to where we have format your visual. And once I'm done with that, I'll come down to where we have slicer. So let's change the color first. So we'll go over to slicer. So you can see the color for yes. You can see the color for no over here. So let's say I want yes to be orange. So I'll just come here and select orange. And let's say I want no to be gray. I'll click on that and I'll come over here and select white 30% darker, right? So around gray, that's fine. And so we're done with the colors. We're good to go. Next, we're going to go over to legend. So when you have recommendation, yes, no, over here, where my cursor is, we call those legends. Okay, so they define your charts. They define the color codes of your chart. So now I don't want to be seeing recommendation. I know you're already talking about the recommendation. You don't need to repeat yourself. So what do? I go over to legend, I click there, then I go over to title and I say, don't show me the title. Once I do that, automatically the recommendation is not there anymore. So we removed that automatically. So once you're done doing that, you click on that. So now I want to remove the title of the chart. For me to do that, I'm going to go over to general and I'll go over to title and I will just click on off. Automatically, there we have it. Our chart is looking less noisy. All right. So now let's remove the background. Let's change the background to the same background we have for the multi-row scorecards, right? Or the multi-row card, right? So for us to do that, we'll go to effects under general. We'll go to background. We'll change the color to 252423. Okay. And then we'll go down and we change the transparency rate to 65%. Okay, so that's beautiful. That's fine. So another thing you could also do, just an expo or something extra, you can go to the visual border. If you on the border, you can even make it rounded corners. So you can maybe change it to 8 pixels. And if you look at it carefully when you're doing yours, you're going to see that the corners that were sharp, the rectangular corners have become rounded. They are curved now. So I said, make it 8 pixels. Yours can be more depending on what you want. So I'm good to go with that. But you can notice that the data labels are not popping. I can't see. We actually have 42.86% there, but it's not showing. So what do? I need to go back and I need to change things. So I'm going to go back to visual and I'll go to where we have detail labels and I'll go down to values. Don't worry, you get used to some of these things. Then I'll go to color and I'm going to change the visual label to gray. So now you can see it's more obvious, right? It's more obvious. Okay, you can read it now. It's more obvious. So once we're done doing that, we're done with our donut charts for now. So now let's go to the next one, our word cloud charts. Our word cloud charts. Okay, so for you to do that, I'm pretty sure you don't have word cloud on your own system, but if you want to do that, you can click on these 3 dots here under visuals, and then you click on get more visuals, and then you search for word cloud, you select that, and it will be uploaded and installed on your Power BI desktop app. So that's it, okay? So you don't have the time for that today, but you can always do that quickly. It doesn't take time. So I'm going to click on the word cloud 2.3.4.0. And there we have it here. So I'm just going to carry this up. And I'm going to resize it. And I'll take this down. Now for our word cloud charts, what do we want to visualize? We want to visualize the comments, the feedback and the comments. We want to be able to visualize it here and see the feedback comments that occurs more in the data set. We want to, sort of look at the main words, okay? So I'm going to come over here to feedback comments. I'll drag that and drop it under values. And I will drop that as well under category. Okay. Okay, so I'm just going to remove that from values. Okay, and I'll leave that under category. Okay, this looks better. Okay, so then we have the feedback comments. You can see workload, you can see grade. So some people are actually complaining about the workload. Maybe they want more support. Okay, so when you see all these words now, you now want to go and look more into it. What are they saying? All right, are they complaining about the workload? Are they complaining about the work? All right, do they need more what? What are they needing more? All right, do they need more support, etc.? All right, so you can edit that here. So very quickly, let's work on this. We'll come over here to format your visual, and you come over here to, let's remove the title. So you go to general, you off the title. I don't want to see that. And I'll come over here to effects, and I'll change the background to what we've been using since. Okay, and I'll change the percentage to 65%. Okay, so that's what I want. You might want something else. Then let's say you're working on it by yourself and you want to change this text. You can see the text here. You have purple, but you want everything to maybe be within brown, orange, gray, white, etc. What do? Go over to visual, go down to where we have the stop words. No. Go down to where we have data colors, right? And you can click there, okay? And you can select the data colors. So you can change that, all right? Or if you don't want everything to look this way, you can do something else. I'm just gonna do Ctrl Z to take it back to what it was before. Ctrl Z. I want to share another method. So still under data colors, you go over to show all, click on show all. And then you can see all the colors, need, grades, workload. So all the words that are there, they have their specific colors and you can change that. Okay, so please feel free to change it based on your own discretion and what you want. Okay, so let's go back up. So I'm going to close that. I'm just going to switch that off and I'm just going to use the default orange. This doesn't look too nice for me, but you can always go over to show all and do that. So this is okay. We're done with this. We are done with this. So this is actually okay. Now let's move on to the next. Let's move this. Let's move on to the next chart. And for us, the next chart is what? Let's go back. The next chart is department-wise satisfaction, all right? So I want to see the satisfaction, the average satisfaction based on what the department, and you can see this is what we have. And then we have the career growth by experience level. So I'm going to create the text first, department-wise satisfaction and career growth by experience level. So let's do that very quickly, very quickly. Let's do that. So I'll come over here and I would do Ctrl C, Ctrl V, okay. And I'll just click on this three dot and drag it down. And I'll change this to departments. You can always change it to something better if you don't like the name. Department-wise satisfaction, right? And yeah. So I'll click on this again and I'll do Ctrl C, Ctrl V to copy and paste it, and then I'll carry it over to the other side. So now I'll just drag this to this side. Okay. No, this is what I want to edit. So I'll carry this over here. And let's click outside the box and do that again. Yeah, let's just leave that here. What's going on? I think my controls are misbehaving. So let me just move this and I'll click here and I'll take this up. Okay, let's not wait for this. It's sort of misbehaving a bit, okay? But you understand, you can just drag it up and that'll be fine, all right? So we're gonna call this, I think we called it career growth by experience level. So we'll go back and call it career growth by experience level, right? So let's do that. Career growth by experience level. Okay, by experience level. Okay, so I will just remove this experience level. Okay, so there we have it. There we have it. So now we're going to bring in the charts that we're going to use for department-wise satisfaction. All right, so for that we're going to use this chart by the right, okay? And then department-wise, we're going to take the department to the y-axis and then the satisfaction to the x-axis. right? So department goes to the y-axis, and job satisfaction goes to the x-axis. Beautiful, there we have it. So I'm just going to adjust this. Oh, seems like the charts above, they took too much space. So let me just reduce that a bit quickly. I just want to make sure that you're seeing what I'm doing. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. So I'm just going to adjust, I'm just adjusting the size. All right. So I'll bring this down a bit. Okay, let's just give it that way. Now, very quickly, I'm going to remove the title and everything that needs to be removed. So I'll come over here to y-axis. Y-axis, I don't need to see the title, right? So I'm going to off the title. The title is gone. And what else am I supposed to do? I think that's all for here. Let's go to x-axis. We're also going to remove we're going to off the values. And we're going to remove the title. So we're good to go with that, okay? What else? Let's go down to the bars. So I want the color of the bars to be orange. So I'll change it over here. And now it's orange. Okay, we're good to go with that. What else are we supposed to do? Data labels. I want my data labels to be there. So instead of, now that I've removed all the numbers and all of that, I want to have the data labels so that we can see what we have. So when I clicked on data labels, you can see the numbers came up here. All right, so yeah, that's fine, but you can also edit it here. And for the data labels, click there and let's scroll down a bit. You click on the position. So I want the position to be outside and outside, all right? So that's fine. We are done with that. So any other thing you want to change, you can just always change, knowing what I've showed you before, all right? Shown you before rather. So you go to general, you click on off, remove the title, you go over to effects, and you change the color of the background to this, make sure it's 65%. Any other editing you want to do, that's okay, that's fine. So now you can see that the IT cells are not actually very visible. So I've shown you how to do that, right? So you can always change the colors, okay, for the IT and the cells by going to the x-axis and the y-axis and editing the values from there. So once you edit the values, the colors for that will get changed, all right? So now that we're done with this, I can come over here and stretch the charts, okay? And there we have it. It's looking pink, it's looking good, all right? So the next thing we're also gonna do is, let's go back. We're gonna create a chart for this experience level, all right? So I'm just gonna carry this up. Or before I even carry it up, let me resize the word cloud to what the donut chart is. So I'll do that again. And there we have it, beautiful. So I'll come over here and I'll just drag this up. Yeah, beautiful. Now it's behaving itself. Now the next thing I'm going to do now is what we have here. We're going to use a vertical bar chart, or we're going to use vertical bar charts to look at the career growth by experience level. All right, so very quickly, I'll come over here and I'll click on this. Okay, and then it appears here. I could even resize this before I click on everything. So now for the x-axis, what's going to be on the x-axis? On the x-axis, we're going to have the experience level, okay? So I'll carry the experience level to the x-axis. And then for the y-axis, we're going to have the career growth. Beautiful, there we have it. This is what we want. So quickly, you go back to format your visual, you switch off the title, all right? You change the background to this. Make sure it's 65% or whatever it is that you want, okay? Then we're done with that. Let's go over to visual, all right? So I don't want to see the grid lines, so I'm going to switch off the horizontal grid lines so they are gone. Then I'll go over to the y-axis. I don't want to see what we have on the y-axis. I don't want to see the values, and I don't see the title either. So I'm going to off that. For the x-axis, I don't want to see the title, but I want to see the values. Beautiful. There we have it. I've switched that off from the x-axis. Very quickly, now I'm going to come over to the columns, and I'll change the color of the columns to orange. Amazing, right? So what you could do for me, please, on your own when you're doing that, you can change the 5-year plus. All right, that is under the x-axis. You can change the value color, all right, to something that's going to pop out and be obvious, all right, on the charts. So that's what we have for today. I hope this wasn't a lot, all right? I hope this wasn't a lot, okay? So very quickly, what you could also do is, since you are working in the HR department as a HR analyst, you can actually publish your work, all right? So you go over to publish, and then you publish it to the Power Service, the Power BI service, all right? And from there, you can share your dashboards with, all right, your stakeholders and those you are working with. I hope we have learned a lot, and I'm also looking forward to probably some of this dashboards. I hope I see some of this, even better ones in future from you all. So thank you so much. Thank you very much for your time. I'll be handing over to Chukwuemeka to continue from where I've stopped. Thank you. All right. Chukwuemeka, it's Chukwuemeka or Ubong. Wow, I'm seeing the feedback from the chat. Amazing, 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 amazing. All right, thank you very much. Okay, let me just read some feedback before Chukwuemeka comes. Thank you. Do I join this? I hope this recording will be shared. Yes, it's going to be shared on YouTube, okay? So you'll be able to watch this again via YouTube and, you know, create amazing dashboards, okay? And even do more. Probably you could even populate your own record with up to 100 employee data and do great things, right? So thank you so much, everybody.
Yeah, thank you so much.
All right.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Akuna, thank you so much. That was a very, very powerful session. I hope we all grabbed and learned something from what Akuna just walked us through within the last couple of minutes, okay? So like I always tell everyone, what we just did right now is something that you are going to learn over a couple of weeks, okay? So don't feel that it was rushed or you didn't get every single thing, because it's not easy for you to learn how to build Google Forms, know how to analyze it from the sheet, and then move it to Power BI. But this is to show you that it is highly possible for all these things to be done. And it is very, very, very easy. And if you're looking to be a data analyst or even move towards HR analytics, which is the main purpose of what we are discussing today, HR analytics, then all these tools are necessary things that you need to learn. How do you gather data from your staff? How do you analyze this data using Google Sheets? And also, how do you now bring out a dashboard from it using your Power BI? So quickly, I'm going to walk us through the other things that we also need to know. I'm also going to walk us through every single thing that we need to know now before we round up for today. How can you easily break into this field and become a full-fledged data analyst? How do you build up your own portfolio to become an expert in what we are saying? And also, who exactly is an HR analyst? Okay, who exactly is an HR analyst? Most time we talk about HRs, we always look at it from the aspect of our normal people that we see on this day-to-day line of activity, people that are trying to recruit us, okay? But simply put, a HR analyst is someone, right? Okay, someone is asking, how soon can we get the recorded Flora? Right, so for you to get the recorded version of this discussion, please make sure that you fill the attendance form that my colleagues are dropping. So Oluwafumike, my colleague, just dropped the attendance form. Make sure that you fill it. So from it, we're going to be using it to send out the recorded version of this discussion to everyone. Okay, at most by tomorrow, you should have it. Okay, even once you check your email, also look at your junk or your spam in case you didn't see it in your normal inbox. Okay, but definitely you are going to get it at least by tomorrow. Okay, so moving on. Who exactly is a HR analyst? Okay, when you hear HR analyst, what comes to your mind? All right, so these are simply people, they are data analysts that specialize in people data. Okay, what they do is to collect, analyze, and interpret HR data to improve the workforce planning and also the other aspects of HR. Okay, so when you hear HR analytics, it simply means that this person is a data analyst that have specialized in people data. Okay, part of the things that they get to do, first of all, you can see this number one, which is around data collection and analysis. Okay, they also perform workforce planning as well as compensation and benefit analysis. Okay, they also have aspects of HR system and software embedded into what they do, as well as employee engagement and satisfaction, respect to compliance and reporting. So if you're looking to be a data analyst with HR understanding, then you should be looking towards HR analytics, right? Moving on, other things that you're going to see also, how do you transform this? How do you transform this to this? So clearly, if you saw what happened today, you can see that we started from Google Form, and then after we've been able to build a Google Form, we collected data, 7 different employees. And from it, we're able to build a dashboard to showcase what those forms collected. That's the same way that when you have bigger data sets like this, how do you move it from looking like this to looking like this? Right? It is also achievable. It all depends on the insights that you're trying to bring out from the data. All right, so what are the tech skills to learn and how do you easily get jobs? Because next question people are going to have is, HR analytics, is it a career path that is also in vogue? Is it a career path that is in trend? Is it something that people can easily learn and be able to land jobs? All right, so when we always look at the top economies of the world, UK, US, and Canada, and analyze different jobs from all those places, okay, we use 3 basic metrics of ease of learning, ease of transitioning, and high rewarding salary. And after it, we're able to come up with all these different career paths that I can see on my screen. But if you look at the one that I left open, that is data analytics. So this is a career path that definitely it is going to grow in the next coming years. And after it, we now sought to validate that this career path is also going to continuously be there. So when we look at the World Economic Forum report, you can clearly see the fastest growing jobs out there. All right, you can see data analysts and scientists. And remember, for data analysts, we'll have HR analysts also embedded inside it. So all HR analysts can also comfortably work as data analysts. The difference is now that they are now data analysts that have streamlined themselves to people data. Okay, data analysts that streamline themselves to people data. So if what you are doing is currently on this left-hand side, you may want to start looking towards how do you get skills that is going to move you to this left-hand side. Because all the jobs on this left-hand side are going to grow. Okay, while all the ones that we have on this right-hand side are going to decline in the next coming years. Okay, so clearly you can see the fastest growing job is also in the big data specialist space. All right, so if you're looking to get into one of the fastest growing in demand career paths, then you need to get the skills of the future. We start with data. All right, so when you are a data analyst or HR analyst, like I said earlier, it doesn't mean that you are going to be looking for roles that exist alone in the HR space. For instance, you can see as a HR analyst, you can fully apply to some roles in data analytics rather. Okay, then you can also apply to roles that exist as HR analysts, as people analysts, as workforce planning analysts, talent analyst specialists, compensation analyst, benefit analyst, talent analyst again, and of course, HR operations and diversity and inclusion analysts. All right, and when we say that you can apply to some roles that exist in data analytics, it simply means that when you come to data analytics also, you can apply to some of these roles that exist here. Business intelligence analyst, marketing analyst, sales analyst, logistics analyst, supply chain analyst, and so much more. So why this is so is because once you are able to learn all the tools that HR analysts can use, that is also the same tool that people in other sector of the economy also utilize. The only difference is now, how do you get the sector-based understanding to be able to analyze their data? Okay, please, what is the difference between HR analysts and HR operations analysts? All right, fantastic question. Now, HR analysts can, accommodate the full aspect of, maybe you are doing compensation analysis, doing benefit analysis, doing talent analysis, and so much more. But when you start, specializing into HR operations analyst, it might not relate to your function as a people analyst with respect to the operations of HR. Okay, you're now fully analyzing based on, for instance, if you look at the people's data and you've been able to see that, at a point, whenever anyone gets 30 years, they leave or resign from our organization. These are all operation matters. So from there, you can now start coming up with strategies like, how do you now start speaking to people that have turned 39 or 30 rather, to make them to stay? So instead of performing exit interviews, they're now performing what we call stay interviews. Okay, but it has to be boiled within the operations of that company. So all these are all interchangeable, right? So there are some companies you go into, that talent analyst is also performing some roles in benefit analyst, is performing some roles that relate to people analytics and so much more. So it depends on also how the company brands the name and also the function that is also embedded inside it. I hope that makes sense to you, Flora. All right, moving on. Like I was saying, a HR analyst can comfortably be able to apply to roles that exist in data analytics. And that means you have the opportunity to apply to some of these roles that exist here. All you need to get is now sector-based understanding, because you already know how to utilize the tools that they will be using. Now, for you to land a job in the HR space, that is simply a 6-step strategy that can easily be able to utilize, okay? First one is for you to choose a career path, okay? For you to choose the career path that you want to be in. For instance, today, we're having a discussion, right? And you are saying, myself, Flora, I'm going to be a HR analyst, okay? Ignore the fact that we have a data engineer here, right? That you are going to be a HR analyst. That's the first step that you need to make. Number one, to identify your own desired tech career path. Then number two is for you to learn the skill, right? Number two is for you to learn the skill. And how exactly do you learn the skill? So we have two basic approaches to how you can learn the skill. Number one is we have what we call the self-paced material, where you are provided with what we call watch me do it videos. Okay, so your facilitator like Akona will perform some of these videos, practicals, and then provide you with that video for you to replicate what happened in most of them. The next one is live instructor-led classes, where you have someone like Akona also in class teaching you what you need to know. Okay, so you'll be live in a class, you can always ask questions, you can raise your hand at any point and call her back to ask a couple of questions on any way that you find challenging. So two basic approach, live instructor-led classes and also self-paced approach. Now, the next step, before I move on to the next, let me be sure that people are still here. So let me ask us one question, right? So you have a car and your car spoils today. Who are you going to give your car to repair for you? Okay? Are you going to give it to someone that is saying, I'm a first-class graduate from Harvard University? Or are you going to give it to the person that is saying, I'm an experienced mechanic with workshop but no degree? Okay, this experienced mechanic has been able to work on Volkswagen, Toyota, Aston Martin, Benz, and so on and so forth. So are you going to give your car to this, or are you going to give it to that to repair for you? Let me gauge our own understanding of how the tech ecosystem works. Flora said B, so I believe this is A, and that is B. So Flora said B. Let me also hear from others. Are you going to give your car to the person saying I'm a first-class degree holder from Harvard University, or to the roadside mechanic that will always know, that will tell you, bring your car, this is my workshop, I've done this, I've done that. Okay, I can see Flora said B, Ashabi said that, Buchi said the mechanic, Anthony said B, and of course, Nana also mentioned experience. Okay, fantastic. Now, this is also to guide you to understand how the tech ecosystem works. So number 3 thing that you need to learn is for you to gain project-based experience. So this is how you can be able to fill that gap of having an experience before landing a job. And the only way you can do that is by working on several project-based projects. Okay, so because we also play in the consulting space, we always get contractual services from clients. Okay, and what happens when this comes in is that you're also provided with this project to work on. So in actual sense, we always advise our students to mention, you are not learning with us. You are consulting with Analytics. Because by virtue of you learning, you're also working on real life projects. So quickly, let me click on this portfolio to show us a portfolio of a past HR analyst that had a program with us. You can see this is Bayo's portfolio. If you go through it, you can see that Bayo worked on automobile EDA. Okay, and this is to analyze data sets from the automobile industry. Okay, you can now go down, you can see the other sample portfolios of things that he was able to do. You can also see a couple of things that he went on to learn under Python, which is entirely different. All right, but if you scroll down, you can see the projects that he did using Power BI and, of course, under people and HR analytics. Okay, and once you click on View Projects, it's going to take you into that actual project for you to see everything that Bayo did. So inside HR analytics project, you can see that he worked on a project that relates to employee demography. He worked on the one that relates to performance, and of course, he worked on the one that relates to recruitment. So as a HR professional, one of the tasks that you're always saddled with is, how do you perform your appraisals? How do you know whether people are doing well and people that you need to do some improvements to bring them up to speed? So when you perform performance analytics, it gives you that insight into what everybody in your company has been able to do. Okay, so when you click on this profile, you're going to see all the activities that Bayo has been able to perform. Okay, you can easily see every single action that he took with respect to building all these dashboards. So let me click on one to be able to bring out the profile and also the projects that he performed, so that we can easily see that you can also be there. But remember, this is the only way that you can show your own workshop. So the same way that you selected, if your car spoils, you're going to give it to a roadside mechanic to repair for you. That's the same way that if someone wants to employ you, they want to see what's the evidence of what you've been able to do in the past. All right? So remember I mentioned that HR analysts can also work in other sectors of the economy. That is because you are also going to be provided with projects from other sectors of the economy to also analyze and bring out your insights from them. Okay, so you can see what he also did relating to the automobile industry. All right, so all these things is for you to be a full-fledged HR analyst and also be able to perform activities in the data analytics space. All right, so when you see a portfolio like this, and maybe your own portfolio, I don't know whether anybody on this call has a portfolio already, but who do you think recruiters are going to employ? This person, Bayo, or you that is just coming to say, oh, I'm a HR professional, I've done this, I've done that, but there's no evidence to validate what you are saying. Who do you think they are going to employ? Bayo or yourself? Okay, so this is now a personality question for all of us to answer. Do you think you are going to get the job over Bayo, or do you think Bayo is going to get the job over you? Let me also hear what you have to say. So if you answer this and that for the mechanic and the graduates, it's time for you to answer this one. Do you think they're going to leave Bayo and pick you that not have all those worth of experience from the HR industry? So product-based approach gives you that experience that you need for you to land a job. Okay, so you can now comfortably speak from a place of experience. While I was consulting with Analytics, I worked on this project. Okay, remember that is number 4 step. Then number 5 is what I call for you to gain employability skill. Okay, so I'm going to speak extensively on this one on a later slide. Moving on, we'll have number 5 and number 6, which is number 5 is gain employability skills. Number 5 is networking, and then mentorship. Okay, networking is very, very crucial if you are looking to get into the tech space. We've had instances where one of our students landed a job, and then in that same company, they were still looking for another person, and he was able to refer someone from the same cohort with him. All right. And also, mentorship is where you now learn how do you learn from the mistakes of others and also be able to have someone that guides you. So Flora mentioned Bio's portfolio will not my degree of fantastic. And Anthony also mentioned Bio. Fantastic. So this is to show you that the best approach to be able to say you have gotten the job is to get the skill, okay, and then get the project-based experience, and of course also get the other aspects of things. Now, what do you need if you are looking to become a HR professional? Now, carefully, let's look at what you are going to be learning. So fully part of the things that you are going to be learning starts with problem solving. Because first, as a HR professional, you are coming to this industry to solve a problem, right? You're not coming there to catch people for lateness or to catch people that are not performing well. You're coming to the company to solve a problem, all right? And that is why the first thing that you are going to be learning is how do you solve a problem? Level to advanced level, from the initial point of your cells, your columns, your rows, you move on to your functions and your formulas, and of course, now to your pivot table and then your pivot charts. And also, how do you build dashboards using Excel? Then you now move on to this Power BI that we handled today. With Power BI, how do you now analyze bigger data sets and be able to bring out amazing insights from all those data that you've been able to analyze? Then SQL also is what we call structured query language, because sometimes you're going to come into a company that have a big data that's already stored in a database. How do you analyze those data that is already stored and bring out insights from it? For you to be able to speak the language of the database, you need to understand SQL, which we call SQL or structured query language. That is how you can easily be able to analyze those data that is already stored there. Now, all these things that you've learned here, problem solving, Excel, Power BI, and SQL, they are all data analytics tools. So they fully prepare you for the data analyst space. Now, if you look at the other side, you're now moving towards HR analytics. All right? You're now looking at HR analytics and performance evaluation. How do you apply some of those things that you've learned? How do you utilize Excel to build your performance evaluation sheets? How do you analyze your HR metrics and your life cycle? For instance, the life cycle of your people's data includes from onboarding, not even onboarding, from the point of talent sourcing to the point of exit. So you need to understand all this life cycle to know which levels, which layers are more important than the rest. So in more conventional companies these days, can always see them perform activities around exit interviews, right? Not all of them perform what we call stay interviews, but stay interview is very, very crucial, because this is how you get to retain your best hands, because you've been able to analyze your people data. You've seen which ones are the top performers in this company, which people can I not afford to lose within this space. And you're not going to put things into place to make sure that you don't lose your top hands. You're now going to move on to your HR analysis and dashboarding. How do you build a more compelling dashboard to be able to provide reports for the management team? And of course, how do you build your case and also be able to utilize ChatGPT for analytics? So these are things that you are going to be learning as a HR analyst. Remember, the first phase prepares you for data analytics, while this other side prepares you for the HR aspect of how do you now apply all those things into what you've learned, okay? So these are all the tools that you are going to be learning: Excel, SQL, Power BI, ChatGPT, and of course, HR metrics. Now, for all our programs, for all the programs that we have here, you only learn on Saturdays. The classes are always on Saturdays. So you will have the morning class and we'll have the evening class. For the morning class, it holds by 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. West African time. Okay, while for the evening class, it is by 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. West African time. It can only be in one. Okay, now the morning class is suitable for people in Europe and also Africa, while the evening class is suitable for people in North America, the Canadians and the US guys. Okay, Then you also have the self-paced aspect. Remember what I said? You have the Watch Me Do It videos and we have the live classes. So it works both ways. For instance, this Saturday, you're having a live class. Next Saturday, you're having a self-paced video to watch. Live class, self-paced video, live class, self-paced video. And the duration of the program is for 8 months. Okay, it's entirely for 8 months, where you are going to learn massively in the classroom for 6 months. And then you have 2 months internship experience with another company as well. Okay, 6 months classroom learning and then 2 months internship experience. Remember, even while you are in your 6 months classroom learning, you're also working on real life projects that you can always be able to use to show at experience that you've been able to get in the past. And you also have 2 months internship with a different company to also prepare you for the job out there. So like I said, you are learning with Analytics and you are also interning with Amdari. So Analytics is fully registered in Canada, while Amdari is registered in UK. So you see that it provides you with a vast experience in different countries. It provides you international experience with full-fledged leading tech companies in this space. You can easily say, oh, while I was consulting with Analytics, I worked on this project. While I was consulting with Amdari, I also did this. So these are things that recruiters want to hear, okay? And it doesn't end there. For you to land a job, you need both the technical skill and the employability skill. And everything I've been able to mention is around technical skills. Now, for the employability skill, it starts with CV review sessions. Most of us will struggle to land jobs because we don't know how to tailor our CVs to the job that we're looking to get into. We just simply do easy apply, easy apply, easy apply. But for you to land a job, you need to learn how do you tailor your CV to the specifics of the job that you're trying to get into. All right? Then we are going to put you through how to do this and provide you with a template that can now easily be able to tailor down to the different jobs that you're trying to get into. And also, LinkedIn optimization is very important because this is how you are visible out there. Okay? I was trying to hire someone for a data analyst role in Ivory Coast because we needed a French-speaking data analyst. What we simply did was to go to LinkedIn and type data analyst in Ivory Coast. And they brought out every single person there. So we now had to now select the people that we want, and they had a session with them to know who we are going to hire in them. It is the easiest, it is the cheapest, and it's also the fastest means for hiring for most HRs. So your LinkedIn has to be top-notch and also provide you with knowledge on how to go about these things. Then how do you navigate the job market? So what we do is we bring in expert recruiters back to classroom to walk you through how to navigate the different job boards out there. And also interview prep sessions where you've landed a job and you need to be prepared for interview. We also teach you how to go about it. How do you answer interview questions using the STAR framework, which simply stands for situation, task, action, and result. You can easily say, oh, while I was consulting for analytics, I did this. That is your situation and the task that you're doing. And of course, the action that you're able to carry out. And then in the end, because of what I did, I was able to improve the turnover of the company, which in the end improved the revenue. So this, when you answer questions using the STAR framework, it shows that you actually know what you are saying. Then we're also here to provide you with references and recommendation letter. So if you're in UK, US, or Canada, you agree with me that references, that recruiters are very, very heavy on that. So we also are available to provide you with all those information at any point that you need it. All right. Then on the job support, you've landed a job, you're still finding it challenging. We're also available to prepare you on the job for 1 month. And also weekly mentorship. How do I request for reference now? So fantastic. So I'll show you how to do that. Weekly mentorship sessions will bring in to teach you what they pass through so they can be able to understand things from their own perspective. And of course, Upwork sessions where you learn how you can easily be able to freelance, using Upwork, making small income from that platform. All right. So let me quickly walk us through also scrape job boards. So we have access to some paid forms where we scrape the boards and make the data available. Okay. For instance, we have UK jobs we script and then provide all those jobs available for our students to be able to apply to all of them. Please, let's confirm that we can still hear me loud and clear. Can we still hear me? Can we still hear me loud and clear? All right, fantastic, fantastic. So all these weekly job posts will scrape different platforms and provide you with all those job links for you to now be able to apply to them. Okay, so these are things that we do to make sure that we move you classroom into your job. And we also have a nice learning assistant which will help you with anything that you need. If you're having code-based issues, it is there to answer the questions for you. If you're having interview issues, it is there to help. And of course, we're also physically available to assist you with any question that you have. All these things are all success stories of people that have been able to walk through the same project. Okay, we have people like Lloyd started from being accountant, business analysis, Ngozi that started from this person, moving to, we have experience as to move that space. So it can also be you. Can you hear me better now? I should be speaking better now. It should be better now. All right. So like I was saying, all these are all success stories of people before you. You can see this, what I currently have on my screen. This also came in from somebody, all right? You can see how he was able to move from being in one of our program into landing HR. This is Benem. So she joined our HR analyst program in January. That was last year and completed by April. In August, she got a role as a HR analyst in the US. So all these are possible. You can easily see what she was able to say. Hi, Mary, an update, I got the job. Okay, and this is what we consider as success here at Analytics. And everything that we do is to find a way to move you from our classroom into landing your own job also. So all these are all success stories of people before now that have been able to make the move. Abigail moved from being a care worker into the tech space. So you move from being a pharmacist into becoming a benefit analyst. Ramas, the same thing, and also Muidin. We also have someone like Abdurrashid that currently still resides in Nigeria, but he works for Child 420 in US also. So all these are possible, but first, you need to be able to learn the skill. All right, so you can also watch here to hear what our past students have to say. Right, we brought our past students back to the classroom to also be able to speak to people. When you get to this slide, just click on any of those watch to be able to hear what they also had to say about their own experience with us. All right, so when you are done, you're also going to be given a certificate from the ACTD, that's American Council of Training and Development. Okay, so we are fully certified from ACTD. Now, once you are done, you're also getting this certification to show that you already have that experience that people are looking for. Now, the next step for you is to learn the skills. Our next cohort is starting on April 5th. So we'll always start new cohorts on first Saturdays of each month. And next one is starting on April 5th. And how can you easily be able to take advantage? Now, because it's Women's Month, we are also trying to accelerate action by helping more people get into the tech space. So we have a 50% scholarship for 300 women and 50 men to be able to enable them to break into the tech sector. So what this simply translates into is that instead of paying $900, which is our full program price, you get to pay $450 alone, okay? Which means you are saving $450 and you are paying only $450. And of course, you have the option to break this down into months, instrumental payments, right? You can pay $150 over a period of 3 months. Okay, this is to also be able to enable you to get easy access into any of this program. And how you can easily do this is by clicking here. So once you click on the link, which my colleague is already dropping, it's going to bring you to our main stack enrollment center. All right, it's going to bring you to our main stack enrollment center. All you have to do is now scroll down and look for secure your IWD discounted slot. Now, this discount is not for everyone. It is only for 20 people. Okay, 20 per program, rather, 20 per program. And once you click to secure your discounted offer, it's going to bring you to this page where you can now select how you want to structure your own payment, right? So once you click on it, it's going to bring you here to select how you want to structure your own payment. So right here, you can easily see that you have the option to pay one off, you have the option to pay in 2 installments, and you have the option to pay in 3 installments. And the beauty is also this. If you're in US, you get to see the pricing in USD, right? If you're in Canada, you're going to see the pricing in CAD. If you're in UK, you're going to see the pricing in pounds. If you're in Germany, you're going to see it in euros. If you're in Nigeria, you're going to see it in NGN. So no matter where you are joining us from, you're going to see the pricing in your own local currency, right? So all you have to do is to scroll down and select the one that works for you. So you can see it is only 10 seats that are remaining right now. And the same way we're having this session for HR guys, that's the way we're having multiple sessions currently ongoing for different people. So for you to select your seat, simply click on anyone that works for you and then click on secure your seat. So it's going to show you that your first payment, $150, is due today. The next one is due by April 12th. The next one by May 12th. All right? And just click on proceed. Once you click on proceed, simply fill in your name, your email address, phone number, and pay for the product. So this is simply how you can be able to secure your discounted price and get into the program as fast as possible. Now, also, I think I need to also mention this. Now, remember, the full price is $900, but there is a discount for the first 20 people to join, okay? And the 50% discount is for all our programs. So even if you want to go for other ones that are also listed there, it is for all our programs. So we have some VCs that came in and said, oh, we love what you guys are doing, take this funding and subsidize by 50% for this month. And it is not for everyone. You can see it is just for the first 20 people to join any of those cohorts, okay? So once that number is filled up, the price goes back to the $900, okay? Once it's filled up, the price goes back to $900. So I advise you to try and secure your spot as fast as possible, right? So once you are done clicking and making the payments, you're going to be redirected to a site where you are expected to upload your receipt and now fill in a form for us to have your data, okay? Once you've made payments on your email, you are going to get an inbox giving you a receipt of your payments. Now, with that same receipt, upload it to the site you're going to be redirected to, and someone from our team will now be able to reach out to you, welcoming you to the team. Now, remember, like I've always been saying, this discount is just for the first 20 people to join. And once it's filled up, the price goes back to the full amount. I don't know if at this point you have any questions from anyone. I'm willing to take a couple of questions before we round up for today. So if you have a question, feel free to type it in the comment section, or also feel free to use the raise hand icon, and I'm going to call you up to speak. All right, do we have any question from anyone at this point? Okay, the slots are already being taken. The spots are already being taken. So I advise you to try and secure your spots as fast as possible. Even if you don't know the program you want to take yet, we always have what we call clarity sessions, all right? One-on-one consulting sessions, free entirely, where we look at your background and find a career path that is suitable for you. But instead of waiting till the end, or instead of waiting till you've gotten the clarity before choosing a career path, make sure you select and secure your spots now, and then come for that clarity session, okay? After the clarity session, even if you decided a different program, we can change it in the back end for you. Okay, Leslie's asking, please, are the course study gonna be online only or face-to-face? All right, Leslie, it is fully virtual training, okay? But it is going to be face-to-face, and also watch me do it video face-to-face from the aspect of it's a live class. The same way I'm speaking to you right now, that's the same way someone will be in the classroom teaching you. Okay, and then you also have instances where you have recorded videos for you to replicate. Now, for you to have a physical face-to-face, you agree with me, it's going to be very, very hard. When we started, we did a little bit of demographic check. There are people from US, people from Canada, people from Nigeria, people from Finland, people from UK. We have a lot of people joining us from different countries in the world. So I think Flora's hand is up. So I'm going to call you up to speak. So Flora, I've asked you to unmute. Please go ahead and ask your question, Flora.
Thank you. So, good evening, everyone. I wanted to ask this.
Yeah, good evening.
Duration. I thought there was a shorter time. Is 8 months? Is it the only? Is it the only timing we'll have? Or I thought I saw something like 6 months some time ago. It's just from Dari.
All right, so possibly it's for Darius. But before now, we used to have 3 months program. But what we also realized is that people were complaining about how fast-paced it was, right? Because, I mean, we are all adults and most people are also working, okay? So they needed, time for them to be able to assimilate things easier. So we have a success rate of 88%. And then when we did a data collection on the other 12%, we realized that they were not able to, attain success because they felt the program was fast for them. So that's why we had to also stretch it a bit and then be able to also add more things for people to learn. So that is why it is currently 8 months program, 6 months in the classroom, and then 2 months internship. But remember, it's not until you finish the program before you start looking for a job, right? Even while you are currently taking your program, you are also applying to the job. 2 months into the program, we always advise our people to start applying to roles. We've had instances where a student landed a job 1 month into the program. We've had instances where some landed 2 months, 3 months, and some even they didn't land any till they finished the entire program. And that is why we always advise people to instantly start applying 2 months once they join the program. I don't know if that makes sense to you now, Flora.
It does, but I still think it's too long a time anyway. Second question, if we pay for this and we need to go to Amdari for the internship, do we need to pay another fee or this one is a one-time, covers everything?
Yeah, it's a one-time. It's a one-time, so it's fully covered. So you're getting that 6 months classroom learning and then 2 months internship with Amdari. It's a collaborative effort from both companies. All right, I believe that answers your question because I can see that you dropped your hand. Thank you for the question, Flora. I don't know if there's any other question from anyone. Okay, Dan is saying, I asked a question which was not answered. Dan, I can't find your question. Right, maybe it's, okay, does this affect people that has already enrolled? No, Dan, if you're already in the program, the boats have sailed. Okay, so if you're already in the program, the boats have sailed. For instance, let's assume you're already in the March cohort or February cohort, your classes have already started, okay? But if you registered and you decided that you want to start in April, you can also benefit from this, right? If you registered, let's say in February, and you said you're starting by April, you can benefit from this. But for you to benefit, you need to now be able to complete your entire payments, all right? Because what happened is this. We had some VCs that came in and said, we are sponsoring this from this time onwards. There's no how we're going to say, okay, if you've been in the program before now, your someone is now taking care of it. It doesn't make business sense, okay? So it's continuous from now onwards, okay? But if you registered and you are meant to start in April, you can also enjoy these benefits. But what you have to do to unlock it is simply complete your entire payment and then send an email to accounts@10analytics.io for us to discontinue other deductions from your own platform, and then it's going to be fully done. I hope that answers your question, Dan. Okay, let me check it out. Anyway, Amrisa with the March BA core, how do I get the just 50% cost? Until, like I said, it has already sold. Okay, your boats have started already. If you buy a product in December, for instance, if you bought fuel last year and this year the government decide, oh, we're trying to subsidize the fuel, You're not going to go to the government and say, oh, I bought fair last year. Please also include us that bought last year. It all depends at any point that people also come. For instance, let me ask us a question. Let's assume that in this April, the price increases to $2,000. Are you going to come back and mention, oh, is it going to affect me that's already in the March cohort? Okay, so we have to look at it from the aspect of business also. Okay, if the price increase, are you going to come back and say, oh, I saw the price increase, please, I want to make the new payment for the new pricing? No, because that is what the moment is also saying. Okay, I hope that answers your question, Anthony. Okay, thanks. I asked because I could have made it if it were face-to-face. Leslie, where are you joining us from? All right, where are you joining us from? Because if you are looking to work in the tech industry, you need to be able to start learning how to also be virtually available. Okay, you need to know how do you be virtually available, because if you are employing people in the HRs in the tech space and asking them to come face-to-face, you are definitely going to lose a lot of staff. So you need to be able to learn how to also do all these things virtually. Right, I want to join the program. I did it 3 months, but I need to refresh and expand. Please send me details on. Okay, thanks, Molini. All right, Molini, please make sure that you fill the attendance form. Okay, from the attendance form, we are going to send you the link as well. But Oluwafumike, please also take note of the email that Molini just dropped, because he or she, okay, I think she is mentioning that she wants to take advantage of this as well. Please, what's the best time for someone in the UK to join live class? Chioma, the best time is in the morning, okay? Because it is 11 a.m. West African time, and that should be around 10 a.m. UK time. So the morning class is suitable for people in UK. Complete the payment before April. Yes, Flora. So the idea is this: if you made your first installment by March, in February, right? And you said you want to start in April. By that February, you've made your first payment. In March, you're supposed to make your second payment. And then in April, you're also expected to make your third payment before the classes start. So once you complete all those payments, that is what guarantees you to enjoy this same dividend for others that others also enjoy. So once you are done, send an email to accounts@10analytics.io for us to discontinue the other deductions. Please, I don't have any IT or computer qualification, but I'm interested in computer press. Can I join it as a novice? Fantastic, Leslie. So all our programs are from basic to advanced level, from basic level to advanced level. So even if you have zero experience, we are going to put you through all those things. So Leslie, it is fully for people like you. When I transitioned, I studied civil engineering. I transitioned from GRC, cybersecurity, data analytics, business analysis. I didn't have computer science degree. What I studied was civil engineering. I was busy, doing AutoCAD and Revit back then. But look at me now, fully running a tech company. So it is also possible for you, Leslie. But first thing first is that you need to learn the skill. Okay? I hope that answers the question. Where is the attendance form? I'm sure my colleagues have been able to also drop it in for you. I think I've been able to do justice to every question here. Okay, Dan, your hand is raised. Dan, please go ahead and ask your question. I've asked you to unmute. Please go ahead, Dan.
All right, thank you. Good evening. I've actually asked my question, but
oh, Dan, I can't hear you. Your sound, your voice is very, very low.
Can you hear me?
Dan, no, I can't. It's very, very low. If you're speaking through any external device like a Bluetooth or a headset, please try to disconnect and speak directly to your phone or your laptop. Okay, Dan, we can't hear you. But I believe I've answered your question through the comment section. I believe I've been able to answer your question through the comment section. All right. So Dan, if you have any other one, please feel free. We always have clarity calls. So through the group that you came, you're going to see a link for you to book a one-on-one clarity session where you're going to have, conversations, and we can now be able to answer your question. Flora, your hand is up. Please go ahead and ask.
So if we have if there's something we do not understand, maybe from a job role, like, is it that we must book the clarity session and pay, and then we cannot ask the questions on group chats like this?
Clarity session is entirely free, Flora. It is entirely free. It is not paid for. All right.
Ah,
Yeah, it's entirely free. So don't be scared. Okay. So because for instance, there are people on this call that they don't even know the career path they want to get into. So when you book all those clarity sessions, it's entirely free. We can now look at your background, look at what you've done before now, and find a career path that suits you best. Okay, so this is what we do to make sure that you are not aligned to a field that you're not comfortable going into. Okay, so clarity session is where we now take a lot of questions, look at your background, and find the best way for you to be able to get into this space. Right, Flora, it is entirely free. But what I was trying to also explain is that, for instance, maybe you want the clarity before you secure your spots, right? And by the time you are done getting the clarity, the spots are fully filled up. So that's why I always advise people to try and secure their spots by doing one payment and then coming to the clarity. So it allows us to, after the clarity, we've seen, oh, it's not HR that you need to be, you want to be a data scientist or a data engineer, we can now change it from the back end. So it's for us to be able to, carry everyone and get them into a space that suits them. So Dan, I'm asking you to unmute again to know if your microphone is now correct. Dan, I've asked you to unmute. Can you speak now?
Can you hear me now?
Yes, it's better. Please go ahead.
Oh, okay, thank you. Maybe it was the device I was attaching it to. Yeah, the question I asked the other time is somebody has somehow twisted the question and has answered my question. But there should be a kind of benefit for we that actually look into this dream and dive into it early. There should be a benefit as early risk takers. I don't know if you understand my point. So it should be.
I
I'm
understand
sure you
you clearly,
understand what I'm
trust me.
trying to say. Okay,
I
I don't want
understand
to
you clearly. Don't mute yet. Don't mute your mic. Oh, I'm going to unmute you so that we can have this 1 second discussion, all right? I've asked you to unmute again, all right? So one question,
okay.
Dan. Let's assume that we didn't get VCs that said we want to do this and the price increased to $2,000. Are you going to come back and say, oh, the price have increased, I want to pay more? I need you to understand that this is also...
Yeah, thank you so much. I want to answer that question.
Exactly. It's from the aspect of how we get fundings, how we also get VCs that come into the business to also be able to assist people as well. So once some of these things happen, we are not rigid with pricing because as at last month, there was a 20% discount. Right, this month, because of the VCs that came, International Women's Day, we are doing this, we are doing that for some women, and they gave that subsidy. Next month, if the price goes up again, we're not going to come back to these people and say, oh, come and pay more because the VCs have left. So all these are always business decisions that happen. So Butch, I've asked you to unmute. Please go ahead and ask your question before we round up for today.
Hello.
Yeah, hi, Butch.
For me, I'm behind your time. So how do I fit into a session? And if I don't have that much time, can I push it down or I have to follow a particular class that I have assigned to?
All right, don't mute yet. Where join us from, Butch?
I'm in Canada.
All right, Canada. So we have 2 classes every Saturday, the morning class and the evening class. Morning class is by 11 a.m. West African time. The evening class is by 6 p.m. West African time, and it should be around 10 a.m. Mountain time. So people in Canada and North America, US, they always join the evening class, while people in Europe and Africa, they join the morning class. So it can only be in one. So we have those 2 segments for people from different time zones. I don't know if that makes sense now, Butch.
Yes, it does.
All right. And all the sessions are always recorded because, we are all adults. There are some instances we might miss a class. All the classes are recorded and you have lifetime access to recorded version, which means even if you miss a class, you can always go back and rewatch recorded version of those classes. And then during the week, but on Wednesdays, 9 p.m., we have what we call revision class also for some people that are still having some things challenging. And then some of those revision class will now hold by 6 p.m. on that Saturday that you're not having a session as well. So we put into measures to be able to carry everyone along, with respect to if you miss class and if you do not understand what was taught before now. I hope that answers your question very well, Butch.
Yeah, it does then, but there's something else. The clarity call. How do you say that we're going to book for it?
Okay, so from the WhatsApp group you are coming through, my colleagues are going to send the link asking you to book a one-on-one free consultation with us. All right, so you're going to sit in the WhatsApp group that you joined through.
Okay. Thanks.
All right, thank you so much. Okay, I believe I've been able to answer everyone's question. Okay, someone is asking what time is best for those in Australia? Okay, Australia time. Let me confirm what Australian time is saying right now so that I can give you a very great answer, Molin. Australia time. Okay. So for people in Australia, so the morning class will also be suitable for you because if it's 11 a.m. in Nigeria, it should be around 9 a.m. Australian time, all right? So if it's 11 in Nigeria, it should be around 9 in Australia. So that allows you to also be able to key into any of those things. So what we'll try to do is that no matter the time zone that you're joining from, it can always either be your morning or your morning, okay? So it will definitely be your morning. I will find a way to fit everyone into it. Thank you, Mosley. I believe I've been able to answer everyone's question. All right, so like I said earlier, these are places where our students also work. NHS is our highest employer of labor, okay, because they're always willing to provide visa sponsorship. They are the highest employer of our past analytics students. And you also can be amongst these people. Okay, so we've had a couple of social impacts before now where people come into the program with a couple of funds. Last 2 years, someone went home with $1,000. Last year, some people also went home with $2,000 from the data programs that we have, from games, from hackathons, from Capture the Flag. So these are things that we also do to help the community. So are you ready to gain the premium skills that you need? Remember, yesterday is the best time to get into tech. I mean, everything I know, I just landed with 35,000 naira as at 2020, not 2019, 2018, when I transitioned. I learned everything with 35,000 naira. So remember, yesterday, it might be cheaper than what it is today, which means tomorrow, it might also get more expensive than it is as of today. So I can't wait to see each and every one of you join our classes come April. And if you are not ready to start by April, also know that you can secure your spot and defer that you want to start by May. But May is the highest that you can be able to defer. We only have 1 month deferral opportunity because we don't know what's going to happen in June or July, but at least we can fathom for 1 month ahead. So thank you so much for listening to myself and Akuna for the last 2 hours. I can't wait to see each and every one of you come April 5th in our classroom. Thank you, everyone, and cheers and bye for now.